For the record, I'm Tweedledum. Heather, Stephen, Ian, Carissa, Faith, soon maybe. Thank you for sharing this day with us and allowing us to be part of it. I know it's a huge sacrifice on your part to be here and to open yourself up to what your father life meant to so many people, but it means so much to so many. You know, I read a lot of the things and saw on television some of the things they said about Stephen. Some of it was true. He definitely had a great smile, and he definitely knew how to have a great message. But they didn't really get into the depths of what he was able to do. He was a very talented man. Stephen was able to walk in a room of 200 or 200, and with every sense in his body, be able to figure out exactly what needed to happen. Not just sight, not just hearing, not just touch, not just smell. He used them all. And in a matter of seconds, he could figure out whether he had to pay condolences, give praise, give people excitement and innovation and motivation, and he could do it on a dime. I've never seen anybody like that. He was one of those people that also made it look really easy. And I was jealous of that because it's not easy for most people. It's certainly not easy for me. But I'll recall in the mid-90s, before the internet really got going and my company was producing most of the products for the internet, he came to a high-tech show where he and I were both to speak. And I knew him, but I didn't know him well. So he came in and sat next to me at the head table, and he said, "Craig, tell me about this internet thing." So I started telling him some things, and in about 5 minutes, he took actually 5 words on the back of a white envelope with the pen he always used to carry. And then he got up and gave a speech that was unbelievable. You would have thought he invented the internet. And I was blown away for 2 reasons. One is, how could he be this smart from just that short conversation with me? And 2, I had to follow him next, and there was no way I was going to be that good. But he was terrific. And through this whole process, I've gotten to know the family a little bit better, and especially Ian. And one of the things I realized is that when somebody makes it look easy, it's probably not easy. There's probably some things behind the scenes that you don't understand. Turns out Stephen was very intellectually curious. And in fact, he did that at home as well. At dinner, Stephen, Ian, Heather would sit at the table, and he would talk to them and read articles from the paper. And if people were clinking their silverware or talking out of turn and not paying attention, they would get the 10-pound stare, right, Ian? And the 10-pound stare was basically straighten up right now. And it cut right through you. But there was a worse stare. The worst stare was the 100-pound stare. And that stare, I didn't think I'd ever seen, but Ian informed me that actually the portrait that's on the second floor is the 100-pound stare. And that 100-pound stare says, get your life together. Get your life together, and it's placed in the State House where it's saying, get your life together for elected leaders to do the right thing for the people of the state of New Hampshire. On May 3rd, 2003, I got a call at home. It was a Saturday. Turned out the old man in the mountain had fallen down. And I knew I needed to get to Franconia Notch immediately, but I didn't realize how big a deal it was. When I got there, there was already a big commotion. There was a ton of people that had ideas. International press started showing up from China and Japan, Europe, South America. I'd never seen anything like it. And I realized the scope of what this was and all of the different things that people wanted to do to honor this great symbol of the state. And so I thought to myself, I can't do this alone. I need someone to help me. And they're going to have to be really smart. They're going to have to be really patient. And they're going to have to be really go through a very, very rigorous process. So I called Stephen, and I asked him to head it up. To this day, he hates me for doing that because he took the role. But he was able to put a group together, the task force, be able to do the things that we knew we needed to do for the great old man in the mountain, that is to keep that symbol alive for all of the citizens in the state and those from outside the state. And he did it with no taxpayer money, no legislative regulations or rules or laws. He did it the old-fashioned New Hampshire way. He built a coalition and made it happen. He's the kind of guy that has so many skills you can't even bother to list them. But one of the things he told me is, Craig, as a politician, you always want them leaving more. And what that means is make the visit a little bit shorter than you think it should be. Make the speech a few less words than you think it should be. And Stephen, I hope you think I've done that today. And I want to say that in his life and now in his death, Stephen, you have left us all wanting more. Thank you.